wrapping up our first show for Filipino American History Month here on Kababayan Today. But of course, we cannot forget to mention Filipinos in Louisiana. So Eloisa Borah is with us. Eloisa, to your knowledge, when were the Manila Men in Louisiana?
Well, the Filipino American National Historical Society cites Marina Espina's book, and she says it's 1763. The Manila Men, there was an article, but this was in Harper's Weekly in 1883, that Lafcadio Hearn, who was a big journalist at the time, supposedly found this village, and he wrote about it, and in Malo. It's a part of New Orleans. And he says that the village there, the Manila village, has been there for 50 years at least, you know, so we know that. We also know that the pensionados, I know you're going to speak about them later on this month, but they had a newspaper called Filipino Student, and somebody wrote a letter to the editor from Louisiana, somebody named Eulogio Yatar, who said, we have 2,000 Filipinos in New Orleans, and we've been here for over 100 years.
Wow. Okay, I had no idea that Filipinos were in Louisiana, and we go way, way back.
And Marina Espina's book, The Filipinos in Louisiana, does go into 9 generations of a particular family, Martinez, Burtanog, it's all these names, but Burtanog is so Filipino that people say, oh, it's the Burtanog family.
I see, okay, and I promise you that later on this month we will get to talk to a descendant, Rhonda Rishu, who will be with us on Skype to share the legacy of her family, really.
We are very lucky that she does share so much. As a matter of fact, one of the, I think, pictures that she has uploaded on her family, which, you know, it's so darling to see these Filipinos in sort of old-time 1800 clothes. To tell us that we've been around for a long time.
Okay, so were women also part of these voyages? Because I know that we're talking about the Indio Luzones, but what about the women?
Well, Louisiana is always pointed as the first permanent settlement of Filipinos, at least that we know. And so people always say, but you know, we were in this area for so long. Didn't we have villages? Couldn't there have been villages? And so I sort of like said, okay, well, take for example that women were actually on the galleons.
Oh,
they were servants. Some were concubines. It wasn't a very pleasant part of our history, history to talk about. But for example, they said there was a law against bringing them, a law of 1608, but people ignored that law. And there was actually one particular official that had brought a group of 15 of these women, and many of them were pregnant when they arrived in Acapulco.
Oh, I see. Okay, but Filipino chiefs from the Philippines were also sent away.
Yes, that's another group that there's very little known about. That there were actually Filipinos that were chieftains, datus, that didn't get along with the Spanish administration in Manila, and they were exiled to New Spain. And so, I have one incident of that in 1589 where 8 Filipino chieftains were exiled.
Okay.
So, knowing all of that, then you say, well, you know, you've got able-bodied seamen, you know, young, strong seamen. You have young, childbearing age women, and you have leaders in the form of chieftains. So you have all the building blocks to have a community.
That's right. Thank you so much. All right, mga kababayan, this is just the start of Filipino American History Month on Kababayan Today. We aim to give you a comprehensive timeline of our arrival here in America. So join us all this month for Filipino American History Month. Maraming salamat po. Ako po si G. Tanji.